Hey guys, I know it's been a minute since my last video. I actually hurt my right shoulder, so it's been kind of tough to shoot, but it seems like it's good to go now. So today's video, I have a pretty exciting one. First of all, I want to shout out my buddy Kendrick at On Point Arms. I like to give him a lot of credit for this. He helps me out a lot with finding certain firearms that are difficult to find. So he always helps, and he was able to get this one for me right away. And if you guys are looking for anything in particular, it's a veteran-owned small business, so I love to give those guys support. He has, a wide array of firearms. Just reach out to him, ask. He also carries ammunition, optics, accessories, things like that. So I'll leave his information down below. But let's get into today's video. So today we are shooting the new CR920P. There's a lot of buzz around it. I was excited to get my hands on it. Actually, I was kind of looking around for it, and fortunately I reached out to Kendrick and he had a couple, so he's able to hook me up with this one here. This has been one, I've actually been talking with Shadow for a while, trying to get one a little bit early, but we weren't able to do that. So I got it now. I haven't shot any rounds through it. As you guys know, I have the standard CR920 and it's my main carry firearm. I absolutely love it. So I was really excited to get my hands on this. So these will be my first shot. So I'll give you my honest opinion. Shadow doesn't help me whatsoever, so if there's anything I don't like, I'll let you guys know. As usual, I like to be as transparent as possible. So let's quit talking and run a few rounds through. There's my first round. So really difficult to say how the rest is going to go. We'll clear that out. Could be the gun is lubricated. All right, let's give that a try again. All clear. Trying to see if the magazine's packed and they're good. So there's my second shot. I'm gonna take a second and look this thing over a bit. I'll send you guys the next clip and let you know what I end up finding. All right, so I brought the gun in, took it apart, made sure again it was clean, lubricated. Everything looks good to me. Took the compensator off, obviously, to get the slide off, looked everything over again. I'm gonna actually try different ammo. So before I was using just a cheap bucket of bullets, but they're 115 grain. I shoot them on pretty much all my firearms and they seem to work great. So I switched to a little bit higher quality. I'm gonna see if it'll run it. I looked at the magazines, couldn't really find anything wrong. This could be just a break-in thing, a teething thing, but you could see when I would fire, it would always stovepipe out the top, and then couple times I shot it off camera and then I would have a failure to feed. It almost looks like the slide is not going back all the way. So I figured I would switch ammo and try. So let's see if we can run some through this. Okay, that ran just fine. Didn't have any issues there. Let's run another one through it. Make sure we're not gonna have hiccups this whole time. Not something I was expecting. I never really had problems with the CR920. I don't know if it's just, like I said, a break-in thing, if the compensator affects the slide. Well, let's see. Okay, no problems there. So I'm gonna just keep running this thing. I'll get a few different angles, of course. I'm not gonna give you my opinion yet because right now I'm a little bit indifferent about it. I really don't like having issues. It could have been an ammunition thing. I'm not sure. Like I said, the gun was cleaned. It was lubricated, as I do with all my firearms. So let's get a few different angles and keep running some. All right, so I probably ran 3-4 mags through it, and that was with the ammo change. So I'm gonna jump back to that bucket of bullets. A little bit cheaper, but like I said, I've never had a problem with them with any of my other firearms. So I want to see if that was something that it just needed a little bit of breaking in, and it was just a timing thing. I'm not sure. So I switched back to the other ammo. I'm gonna take a few shots and see if it starts the cycle. So, let me clear the mag here. That is a failure to feed right there. So that's a live round, so we'll get that out. That was after, I don't know, 5-6 shots. Try it again, see if we can get through a couple more. Okay, there's another failure to feed, as you can see. Again, another live round. This is with that Remington bucket of bullets, so let's clear that one out. Okay, so that was about 2-3 failure to feeds with the lower quality ammo. I have another mag ready with the same ammo that I'm going to try. Usually these don't turn into you know, a reliability video, but apparently this one is. So I'm going to keep running a few through. I just want you guys to know what to expect. It could be, like I said, again, a little bit of a break-in issue, but nonetheless, I'm going to keep running some rounds through and see what we get. All right, failure to feed once again. Again, I did look at the feed ramp as well. It was clear, no debris, so it shouldn't be a problem there. And I didn't have any of this with the last ammunition, so let's clear this out. So there's one in there and in the chamber now. That one didn't feed it in at all. I'm not sure, but it seems like to me that it's that when the slide retracts, it's not going all the way back, right? So that last one didn't even attempt to feed. It was still sitting in the mag until I went to, you know, pull the slide back and make sure. Then I chambered another round. So it seems like to me the slide's not going all the way back. So I don't know why that ammo would be different. It's the same grain, same muzzle velocity. I'm not sure. And again, I've never had a problem. So let's see. Okay, that fed them all. I'm gonna load up a few more. Again, guys, usually I'll do another video where I kind of run over reliability, but usually that's kind of later down the road when I'm, you know, when I really have a thought of, you know, what works well, what doesn't. I'm just trying to actually find what works right now. So I'm gonna load up a few more and keep running it. Load it up once more with the bulk pack. Let's see how it runs. Stovepipe here. So this one did not eject. There is, see if you can see in there, another one that tried to go into the chamber. It's about halfway in, so I'm going to clear this out. Failure to feed. Failure to feed. Another failure to feed. And that was the last round. You guys are probably getting sick and tired of me saying failure to feed, because I am too. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna load up one mag with that S&B 9mm, and that's 115 grain, same muzzle velocity as the bulk pack, but for some reason I didn't have any problems with that little bit higher end. And the reason why I keep doing this is because, like I've mentioned, I don't usually have problems with the bulk pack. 9mm usually seems to run, or at least that ammunition, through all my firearms reliably. Actually, throughout all my reviews, I pretty much strictly use that ammunition because it's a better price, you know, for the amount you get. So I'm gonna load up a mag with each, and I'm gonna see how it runs. I will keep you posted. Okay, first magazine I have loaded up here is the bulk pack ammunition. You know what it is? Failure to feed. Okay, so that's about 3 of them. So you're talking almost 30% of the magazine did not feed correctly. Let's run through the S&B, the little bit higher end ammunition. Again, this is both just target ammo at 115 grain. So maybe it's that picky. We'll find out. And it ran, I think I had 9 or 10 in there flawlessly. So I'm starting to think that it really doesn't like that bucket of bullets at all. I don't know if they're a little bit more of an inconsistent load, but the thing is, I could go get the standard 920, which I will compare these two against each other, and I could run that all day long. So I'm not going to say what it is or what it isn't right now because I really don't know. My thought is that it's a little bit ammo picky, and since it's new, it needs a little bit more of a break-in, and with the other rounds being a little more consistent, that could be what it is. So let's go over a couple things. This video got a little bit long because I thought I'd be just running rounds and having fun out here, but instead I was clearing a lot of rounds, checking a lot of failure feeds and stovepipes. So let's go over a couple things, and I will give you my initial thoughts. Of course, I will do a later, general review of the firearm once I get a lot more rounds. So we probably sent about, 150 or so through. So let's talk it over, and I'll see you there. All right, so that was my first about 150, I didn't count, 100 rounds or so through the new CR920P. Let me just go over a couple things about the firearm before I get into what I think. So obviously the biggest thing here is the compensator. So of course the compensator blows the gas out the top, basically making the muzzle stay down so there's less flip. And actually I've done a comparison with the, with the Hellcat and the Hellcat RDP, which has the same system, just a little bit different from Springfield. And it actually is a noticeable difference on the Hellcat. I always thought Hellcats had a little bit of a snap to it, but once I had that RDP, it definitely flattened it out. So anyway, that's the concept behind that. It's on there with just 3 lugs, so it's not a threaded barrel. If you take this off, which there's a pin here, you pull down and it'll slide off. There's 3 lugs on the barrel and it slides on there and locks onto it. So that's kind of how it works. So that is the biggest change here. One thing I did notice compared to my standard CR920 has these nice serrations here on the top. I don't think I would use them for much, but it does add to the aesthetics of it a little bit. It looks a little bit more aggressive. If you do press checks, I don't even know if that's really much of a thing, but I think some people do it, even though you can still see the round indicated on the side of the chamber. Aside from that, it is pretty identical. So It's optics ready here. I have the black barrel on this one. There is a bronze as well if you want to go that route. Same capacity, 13+1 here with the pinky extension, and then a 10+1. Whoops, I just bought that again. A 10+1 flush fit. So if you're worried about printing or you want to keep a little bit more of a low profile, you have that option. So let me give you, I'm trying to kind of come up with what I think here. Let me go over the shooting first. The shooting that went well, I should say. So the rounds where it fired correctly. Again, I have a lot of rounds through the standard CR920. It shoots very flat. It is a difference, but in a different light, I did always think the CR920 was a great shooter. I always say it feels like a full size. It shot well for me. Some people might say differently, but it fits my hand well. It feels more like a full size when you're shooting it, and it carries really well. This one, it definitely stays flatter. I can't say that it's an absolute game changer. It's nice, better shootability. I would assume you could stay a lot more, on center mass, at a lot more, at a rapid pace. And I don't have optics on either. I wanted to keep this kind of square and the same. And I will do a video where I compare them back to back. Then I may notice a lot more on the compensator. So aside from that and a little bit of the slide change, it's a very similar firearm. So you're gonna see it in the video, and like I said, this is gonna be kind of a long video. I had a immense amount of I would say, 60% of that bulk pack, 50% of the bulk pack did not run worth anything through this. And like I mentioned a million times, getting a little, winded in saying it, I've never had a problem with that ammunition. Once I switched to this S&B ammo that actually was kindly supplied by Kendrick at On Point Arms, this ran perfectly. You can see here. 115 grain, same as that, but I'm not sure what the difference is. I just had a lot of failures to feed on the bulk pack, a lot of stovetop pipes, excuse me. It just seemed like it wouldn't run reliably. And like I mentioned, I took it apart, cleaned it, lubricated it. So it could be a break-in thing, or it could be just very ammo picky. And I'm not really sure, but I will say, to be very honest with you, I really, really, really don't like when guns, you can't just take it out and start running rounds. If it was a 22 LR and I was shooting cheap bulk pack ammo, yeah, I probably wouldn't be too upset because they're unreliable and inconsistent anyway. But when you're shooting a centerfire round, I really don't think you should have that many problems. You should kind of be able to go pick up most ammo that's on the shelves nowadays and run it through reliably. If I had one or two, that would have been fine, but it was every few rounds. So that's a little bit disappointing. I'm not going to give this my final thought of saying it's unreliable, saying you're going to have issues, because I hope that's not the case, because I've had really, really good luck with shadows and I really enjoy them. So once I get, I got to wait until I get, 500-600 rounds through it, and then I can really let you know. So I'm going to have a overall review of this firearm coming up here. I just have to keep putting rounds through. Like I said, I haven't been shooting for a while, so I got to get back on pace here. And then I will have a back-to-back coming out later this week between the 920 and the 920P. Let you know if it's worth upgrading or not. I will say I got this one for $860, I believe, and I think you can find the standard CR920 for low six, maybe high five some places. So as we sit right now, is it worth the extra couple $100? In my opinion, not yet. But don't take that to heart. I'm gonna do a lot more shooting, so if you guys just want to stick with me a little bit till I get quite a few more rounds through it. I just like to do my initial impressions, so there's no gray area. You're seeing exactly what I'm doing. I'm not out here running rounds before I shoot, so I like to just be as transparent as possible. So I appreciate you guys sticking around. I appreciate all the new subs too. It's crazy the channel keeps growing, and like I said, I've been off for a while. I have a lot of update videos to do here. A lot of different firearms that are laying around that need to be shown, a lot of comparisons. So if you're new, please like and subscribe for more content. I'll be sure to get a little bit more consistent in my filming. kind of get busy with things, and but I want to keep the channel growing. I will be announcing a new giveaway once we get to 5,000. I will announce it prior to 5,000. After the first giveaway went a lot faster than I thought, I was glad to do it, so I will be announcing that, and I think it's absolutely something you guys are going to want to be subscribed for. So again, thanks for watching. Till next time.